Are sanctions working? Is it better to have no sanctions rather than half-baked sanctions? Europe is still buying oil from Russia. Europe is still discussing a coal ban. Is this step-by-step approach towards sanctions working? Is it better to have no sanctions? Sanctions should be either total sanctions or no sanctions. Don't you agree, Mr. President?
Look, I would like the sanctions to be as weapons, like something like a nuclear weapon, but the one that is not taking lives of people. I believe these sanctions are modern, state-of-the-art weapons when it goes to an economic isolation of this or that country, which is willing to take the life of any person or attack any country. I think these are powerful steps, but any steps, you know how people are saying, if you took a gun, then just shoot. Otherwise, don't, take this gun, don't try to threaten people. And the same for the sanctions. And I'm grateful to those countries who have imposed significant sanctions. Now, if you have already taken that weapon in your hands, those sanctions, these state-of-the-art weapons, then fire them, press it, impose all the sanctions, powerful sanctions. Do not pretend as if you are trying to support Ukraine and then trying to get to not lose all the economic relations with Russia. That's half measures. They will not work. Then these sanctions would be without any significant impact on the Russian Federation. That's the weakness that I've just talked to you. That's the weakness that Russian Federation can feel. Yes. They would feel those steps, and then by feeling that, they would find the ways to circumvent those sanctions. And now Russia is demonstrating the whole world that they are not afraid of this intelligent and smart state-of-the-art weapons. I will circumvent the sanctions. That's what Russia is trying to demonstrate with their steps. And this is something that we have to stop.
You have spoken to Prime Minister Narendra Modi twice. India has provided humanitarian assistance. India has condemned strongly in the UN yesterday what happened in Bucha. We've called for an independent investigation. Is there any way in which India can mediate to help bring the war to an end? You've already spoken about India probably being a security guarantor. Is there any other way in which India can mediate to help bring the war to an end, President Zelenskyy?
Well, I think everything starts with human relations. And the trust in between of the countries is the trust in between the leaders of those countries. And I had two conversations with Prime Minister Modi. I had a telephone conversation, and then we had a meeting in Glasgow at a climate summit. And I thought, and I would be really willing to turn a page in the relationship between our countries and our people. I would like to have those relations powerful and effective. I know that India always had a very significant relationship with Soviet Union, but I'd like to say that India had a relationship with Soviet Union and not Russia. That was Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and other countries that were part of the Soviet Union. And there was always a human relationship. There was always clear and understandable relationship. Our people were sharing experience. They've opened businesses. The Indian students were always graduating from Ukrainian higher educational institutions. Now we understand this relationship. I'm sure India have seen when we've assisted in the evacuation of many citizens of India. I think all of that is important. I think our relationship are very clear. I know that it's very difficult to have this sort of balance in between of the Ukraine and Russia for India. I understand that is the choice for the leader to be made, and he's not willing to lose any relations while in the same time condemning the aggression of Russia and supporting Ukraine. But I would like to say that there are some decisive aspects and decisive times when the wisdom, sometimes the wisdom is not the only solution, because wisdom it's very difficult because it's not only your state, it's not only about the balance between the belligerent parties. The wisdom is to see what's going to happen in future. And should we look at that, the whole world is condemning Russian Federation, and they will not forget Russian Federation. I'm grateful for the humanitarian assistance and diplomatic assistance from the Prime Minister. And still, I would really like for him to think of becoming one of the security guarantors for Ukraine. But in this case, there would be no balance. Then you would need to have not only the wisdom, but an open position, because that would be security guarantees for Ukraine. And so if Russia would violate that agreement, now those security guarantors would be against Russian Federation and against its aggression. That's why I would like to have special relationship between our people, between our authorities, because I think we share the same values in between of our people, because the values, they are internal, they are clearly understandable. The peace, the families, the children, and when our children are being killed, then I'm sure that it's very hard for the people of India to watch this, because it's painful for us, and just the same as for every ordinary Indian. And